In this lesson, I'm going to continue to discuss editing text. If you'd like to follow along, go under the File menu to Open, into the Working Files folder, Chapter 5, and select Tricks to Editing Text, and just click Open. Whenever I'm editing text, there's certain things that I do every single time. One of them is turning on my invisible characters, my hidden characters. Why don't we move in a little bit closer on this page before we begin? You could either click on your zoom tool or hit your Z key to get there very quickly. And I'm just going to click and drag across the page to make it a lot bigger. Right now, without my hidden characters, there's a lot I don't know about the way this text was typed. Like, for instance, is this an extra paragraph return? Or is it space after this paragraph? Or possibly space before this paragraph? Is this a tab? Or is it just a bunch of spaces? Well, it might help to know this kind of information when I'm trying to format text. So I'm going to go under my Type menu to show hidden characters. And there they are. I can also turn on or off my hidden characters by going to the View Options pop-up menu above my control panel and check Hidden Characters. So there are a couple of ways to turn on hidden characters. And actually, there's a third. You can also hit a command. On a Mac, it's Command Option I. On a PC, it's Control Option I. That's even faster. And now I can tell a lot more about the way the text was typed. That is an extra paragraph return. So's that. This is just a bunch of spaces. Not a very good thing for formatting. So I might want to change that to a tab. And this is a tab. So there's some inconsistency in the way this document was typed. And it pays to know all that stuff before you start formatting. Another thing that can be quite useful, let's say you're editing your layout and your client sent you all of the changes typed in an email. Well, wouldn't it be great if I could just copy those changes to my text out of the email and paste them directly into my layout? Actually, this very same thing works with any other application. You can copy your text out of that application and paste it directly into Indesign. Let me show you. I'm going to switch to a text editing program. And I'm going to select some text and go to Edit, Copy, or Command-C or Control-C. Go back to Indesign just by simply clicking on it. Get an insert point someplace in my text, and I'm going to paste. Command-V or Control-V on a PC. And you can see it picked up the formatting of the text that I pasted into. So that can save a whole bunch of time. But what about if I copy something, let's say from Indesign? I'm just going to select this subhead and copy it. And maybe I want to paste it into this text, but I don't want to include the formatting from that text that I copied. So I'm going to go to Edit, Paste Without Formatting. And you can see it pasted in just the text and it picked up the formatting of whatever I pasted into. So that is kind of nice. I wonder if there's any other ways to pick up the formatting of text. Well, I could go to my eyedropper tool. If you click on the eyedropper, or if you don't have an insert point, you could actually hit your I key to get there very quickly. But what I want to do is click on some formatting, like for instance this subhead. And you have to make sure you really click on the letter itself. And you can see it actually picked up the formatting. A lot of people know the eyedropper for picking up color. In Indesign, it also picks up formatting. Now, watch what happens if I go before this text in the next paragraph. and I click and drag, whatever I select is going to have that other formatting that I picked up applied to it as soon as I let go. Now, if I was using styles, which we'll talk about in a later lesson, it actually picks up the style and it will apply that style to whatever you click and drag across with your eyedropper tool. So that is really cool. In a previous lesson about preferences, we talked a little bit about drag and drop text editing. If you don't remember, let me just do a quick review. On a Mac, I'm going to hit Command K. On a PC, Control K. And I'm going to go down to the fourth section, which is type. One of the preferences that I always change is in the drag and drop text editing section, I always check Enable in Layout View, or else drag and drop text editing by default only works in Story Editor. But I want it to work in my layout. I'm going to click OK. And the way it works is, let me go back to my type tool. And I'm just going to move down the page a little bit. And I'm going to select some text. How about I select this whole paragraph? And a lot of times when you're doing editing, you're not changing the text. You're just moving it around. Well, with drag and drop text editing turned on for layouts, it's great. I mean, I can click on this selected text and drag it to another insert point. So the two paragraphs changed position. Really kind of nice. But that's just the beginning of what you can do with drag and drop text. With that paragraph still selected, let's say I wanted to move that text into another frame. Well, I could click on my text and drag it into another frame. And you can see it just moved into that frame on my pasteboard. But maybe I want to copy it out of this frame back into the original frame. Well, the way that works is I would click on the text. On a Mac, hold down Option, which is almost always used for copying, making a duplicate. And on a PC, it's Alt, which has that same use on a PC. And I'm going to drag to a new insert point in my original frame. And it actually duplicated the text back into the original frame. Now that is really kind of cool. It also works with tables, where you can move text from one cell to another, or if you click on your selected text and then hold down Option or Alt, you can duplicate the text into some other cell. Really kind of cool. Another question that might come up all the time is how many words or how many lines or how many paragraphs do I have in my text? Or how many words or how many characters is my text over if it's overflowing the frame? Well, I'm going to go to my window menu to open a panel called Info. And it's going to give me information about my selected text. It's letting me know that it's 265 characters, 47 words, 4 lines, and also 1 paragraph. If I select something else, it's going to recalculate that. So if you're a writer, this is a terrific feature, because a lot of times when you're writing stories, they have to be a certain number of words and no more than that. In the next lesson, we'll be discussing more about editing text.